is the third and final game in the Famidaily edutainment spectacular. We'll get to the other two games in Tokyo Shoseki's series in about a month. But there are two things I want to mention before I go on with this one. First, the timing of the release was not a coincidence. The first term for the Japanese school year starts in April, so these three games were released to coincide with that. The other two were released to coincide with the autumn break. The other thing is that these games were actually pretty successful. Not top sellers, but sold enough to get reprints. And I know this because the back of my cartridge looks like this. That FF is the Famicom family trademark. I won't talk about it again probably for quite a while, but Nintendo doesn't start using it until about 1988. Okay, let's get into Keisan Game Sansuu 3年. As before, it consists of 4 minigames, and each minigame has 2 difficulty levels, though those only affect how hard it is to play the game, not the math. The minigames this time out are more action-orientated, but they're also more clunky than the ones we saw before. It feels like a real leftover ideas kind of cart. The first minigame has you captaining this submarine. The Z80 on the side is probably a reference to the Z80 processor, though this game was only released on the Famicom and it didn't use a Z80. The goal is to identify the missing part of the answer for a division problem. And you just move the submarine on top of that box and press B. The depth charges can pin you in, but I found that to be a kind of rare. I actually find the second minigame to be a bit confusing. Not the math, you're just filling in the blank on that problem. But you press A to jump over the flying saucer at the bottom, and press B to turn into a rocket and fly up to hit a number. And if you hit the upper saucer, you just get knocked down. You hit the lower saucer, you die. Also, the bottom saucer tends to move at the same speed that you do, so it can sometimes be hard to outmaneuver it. If you wind up in between 2 numbers, then you just fall back down. The third minigame has you filling in numbers for long division. You stand in front of the correct door and press B to go up to the next floor. A will let you jump over the monster that's running around. The final minigame looks interesting since it's a maze chase game, but it doesn't really work. You have to drive into these corner spots to reveal what number's there, and if it's the number that you have to fill in, you press B. The cars in the maze aren't particularly aggressive, and just running around to the different corners is really annoying. Does this box have my number? No? Oh well, try again. All of the minigames on this one feel half-baked. The numbers have gotten too big to be reasonable, so it's all fill in 1 digit, and none of the games have effective selection methods for it. The submarine and the building are just too simple. The rocket is just too arbitrary with the enemies. And the maze feels pointlessly redundant. But then I guess if it was good, it wouldn't be educational software.